Good morning everyone, Eli Montague here from the WTBA. This video is about killing versus not killing. From a self-defense point of view, of course. Should you be aiming to, should your techniques, should the purpose of them be to kill your opponent? As with everything, in my opinion, it's balance. You've got to know both. My father had a tendency towards only killing, right? Every technique he ever taught was kill, punch him in the throat, rip his eyes out, break his neck. They were killing methods because that's what he liked to focus on. Now, of course, in some ways, I suppose, if you get so good at anything, you're still going to be able to deal with something without killing someone. But in my opinion, a new student should not be taught that as soon as something happens, your intent should be kill. You've got to train that. But what about also not training that? Training more passive defense scenarios. What we have to remember is that 90% of fighting situations aren't life or death. The other guy is not trying to kill you. He's just pissed off for whatever reason. He just swings a punch at you. So, do you want to kill him? I hear this all the time. I showed some defensive techniques on a video a while back, and someone said, yeah, but attack is the best defense. Because in the video I was only defending. I was not putting in any strikes. Attack is the best defense. Yeah, sure. If you're that good that your attack will work as a defense, that's fine once you're at a certain level. But when you're a beginner, attack is not the best defense. You need to learn how to protect your head. But the other thing is, if someone just swings a punch at you and your reaction is to get straight in there, boom, 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 and punch him 3 times in the neck, and either kill him or make him more aggressive, when if maybe he threw that punch and you just gone, hey, come on, calm down. Maybe you could talk your way out of that situation. Maybe you could have stopped him being able to fight you. Or maybe it's at a bar, whatever. So there's other people around. You've got some mates there. If you've got friends and it's one guy who's drunk, out of order, whatever, he's angry, on drugs, doesn't matter what the reason. Move, defend, don't hit him. And then say, look guys, come on, let's all jump on this guy so that no one gets hurt. I don't need to kill him. Why do I want to kill him? Oh, he deserves to die. He attacked you first. But I don't deserve to go to prison. Okay? If you kill someone, there's a very high chance you'll go to prison, even if it's self-defense. Now, if you're a small woman and some large man follows you down the street back to your car at night and you kill him, you're probably okay. But if me, as a professional martial artist, is in a setting where there's other people around, I'm not going to be able to prove that I had so much risk for my own life that I thought he was going to kill me, therefore I had to kill him. If I kill him in that scenario, I'm probably going to prison. Why do we practice martial arts? To protect ourselves and our loved ones. I practice the martial arts to know that I can protect my family, particularly my wife and 2 little girls. If I was in a situation and, I don't know, we're walking down back to a hotel in New York City or something like that, and a couple of guys jumped us, we got 2 little baby girls and my wife, we can't run away. That's out of the question. We're not going to be able to run away carrying kids. So I'm going to have to do something about it. And if I have even the slightest inclination that these guys are going to try to kill us or do nasty things to my girls, I'm going to kill them. Or rather, I'm going to hit them with maximum force, with maximum intensity. I'm not going to hold back at all. That doesn't mean I'm actually going to try to kill them. If I go bang, 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 and they both fall to the ground, half unconscious and they're struggling to get up, now we run away. I'm not going to hit them and then grab their neck and snap their spine and cave his skull in with my foot, because there was no reason to do that. Once they're downed, they've fallen down, they're not getting up, we run, run, get away. Because, okay, in that situation, I'd probably be okay in court. But do I really want to have to go through a whole court procedure and spend all that time in court? I don't want to have to do the hassle of that. I don't want to kill these guys because it's a bloody hassle if I get caught, if they catch me. So my intent is not actually to kill them, but it's still to do maximum damage, to not hold back. Because if they attack me, and I've got my girls behind me, if I use even 99%, if there is one little percentage in my mind, my body, that is not to do maximum damage, there's 2 of them, I'm already at a massive disadvantage. Maybe one of them's got a weapon. So I am going to use 100%. I am going to be just completely ruthless until they are on the ground. If they look like in any way they're going to get back up, then yes, I will boot one of them in the head to make sure they stay down. But if I can see that they're not getting up, come on, let's run, let's go. And we get to safety as quickly as possible. I'm not going to purposefully withdraw their life. But how am I supposed to protect my family, whether that be physically from a fighting context, or financially, or morally, and whatever, if I'm in prison? So going to prison isn't a great way to protect your family. You're not protecting your family if you're in prison, okay? So for those situations where it's clearly not, okay, technically speaking, any fight could end in serious injury or death. Technically speaking, yes. But on the other hand, there's 20 other people around. I got some other mates there. This guy's a bit drunk and he's swinging a punch at me, whatever. The chances of that being a death scenario are so slim, I'd rather risk that than the consequences of me killing this guy and then me going to prison. Or even if I, seriously injure him, I might still go to prison. Then I've got a record on my list and I'm in prison. I can't protect my girls while I'm in prison. So this is where we need to also prepare ourselves for those scenarios. You need to have your partner put on some gloves and say, right, try and hit me. I'm going to try and defend myself without hurting you. You're just going to swing punches at me. Whoa. I'm just going to cover, duck, run, learn how to get out of scenarios without hurting your opponent. So you have both of those weapons in your toolbox for those different scenarios. If the only thing you've ever practiced, let's take it to an extreme example. I've only ever practiced attack as defense. And all those attacks I've practiced are the throat and the eyes, things like that. I'm going to blind him or kill him. If that's all I've ever practiced, and then I'm in a scenario where, oh, hang on, this guy doesn't want to kill me, but the only thing I don't know how to protect myself without hurting him. The only thing I've trained is how to kill him. It's kind of like giving a gun to someone. It's pretty difficult for me to defend myself with a gun without causing you serious injury. Even if I shoot you in the leg or something, it's still serious injury. Whereas a stick, a baton or something, I can smack your arms out of the way, just, really badly bruise your arms and make you cool off by whacking your arms. So that's a more passive, defensive scenario. It's defensive as opposed to offensive. So your techniques, they have to have both of those principles. Because I would much rather, like I said before, parry, move, duck, get out of the way, and then maybe literally just leave. If I'm in a pub and it's just me, he swings the punch, whoop, duck under it, go straight for the door, walk out. The guy's drunk. He's probably going, what the hell? Where's he gone? He's a magician. He's not out to get you personally. Oh, he could be, but it's more likely that he's just angry and wants to hit someone. So just duck around the corner. Let someone else fight him. But the main thing is, use more people. Like in the same way bouncers do, security guards. They don't fight one-on-one. A bouncer, if they feel they can deal with the person, sure. But if they feel, oh, hang on, this guy's big, or he looks rough, looks violent, they'll straight away call in backup. Because to deal with it themselves, they would have to seriously injure that person. If you've got backup, use it. Don't let your ego get in the way and think, I've got to prove myself and beat this guy down. No. Duck his punch, control his arm. Oi, come on guys, help me out here. Then no one gets hurt. So, to sum up, practice non-lethal defense. That means practice just blocking, just defending, evading and blocking. And when it comes to striking, well, you know, you may need to strike someone at some point. If, for example, it is only you and you want to use some kind of a controlling wrist lock, arm bar, these kind of things, you might feel that you need to hit him in order to get the lock on. But again, you're not going to punch him straight in the throat and stop him breathing. Just a good old slap in the face, right in the nose. That'll take his mind off what you're going to do to his arm while you do that. So you can practice those arm locks and so on. That, of course, is more at the higher level of your training. If you're a beginner, you're not going to be able to put arm locks and stuff on people in any scenario. But even a beginner can just block. Blocking is the easiest thing you can do. It's much harder to protect yourself with trying to attack at the same time. Because one, you're opening yourself up. When you've got both your hands back here, you're more protected than if your hands are extending. When you're extending your hand, you're open to attacks yourself. Also, it's more difficult to do two things at once, to focus on blocking and attacking at the same time. So if your pure focus is to not get hit, you're less likely to get hit. So yeah, in my opinion, you should train for the worst, most violent, ruthless situation. Train those methods, train those type of strikes. Have intent, as I said before, not intent to kill. I don't care whether this guy lives or dies. I don't want him to die, but I'm still not going to hold back. I'm going to use as much force and velocity as possible. If he dies, in my opinion, that's his fault, not mine. I'm not going to risk my own safety and my family's safety to lessen his risk. If anyone's going to have risk on them, it's going to be the other guy who's attacking me. But remember that 90% of situations, probably 99% of situations, are not going to be that kind of life or death scenario. So you need some non-lethal techniques to back yourself up. If the only thing you've ever practiced is punch him in the throat, rip his eyes out, break his neck, these kind of things, what can actually happen is you can actually freeze. It can cause you to freeze. I actually had a guy do this because he was fighting a mate, a friend of his I think he'd slept with his girlfriend or something. Anyway, his mate was trying to bash him. And at the time, he'd only ever practiced really brutal techniques. So he was winning. He was actually winning the fight, but he got to a position where I think he had him like, what did he say he was doing? I think he had him like up against a wall. So he'd hit him a few times or something, had him up against the wall, had grabbed, like really had his fingers dug right into, he was basically holding the whole Adam's apple in there, right? And he was about to rip that forward and punch him square in the head. But in that moment, his body went, oh shit, I'm going to kill him. But this is my mate. He's just pissed off with me because I was a dick. I slept with his girlfriend. And he was about to kill the guy. So that made him freeze. Now, had that been a life or death scenario where he was with his wife and kids or something, he probably would have just followed through with that because he's protecting his girls. But in that scenario, that was a non-serious scenario. And because he'd never practiced non-serious techniques, he froze in that moment. Shit, I'm going to kill him. And when he said, shit, I'm going to kill him, he swung a punch, knocked him down, and he got beaten up. his mate ended up beating him up. Not to the point of death or anything, or even long-term injury. He was fine, just a, a rough up sort of a beating, a few punches in the head, that kind of thing. But still, had he had the backup of non-violent techniques, he probably would have been able to deal with his friend and just defend. Hey, come on, man. I'm sorry. I'm really sorry. Just defend, and run away. Or use arm locks, or throws, headlocks, sleeper holds. All the things that don't cause so much long-term damage if you do them to your partner. So yeah, just something in there to have a think about. If you've got practicing one of these styles that's kill, we've got to do the most damage possible. Yeah, good. You need that. It's important. But also know that it's a good idea to be able to practice non-lethal tactics. Have a think about that, guys. Let me know what you think in the comments, and see you next time.